Hey everyone, Gaijin Goombah here. For as long as I can remember, a bunch of you guys have requested over and over that I talk about the ever-popular MOBA SMITE, a game about gods and goddesses spanning dozens of pantheons, duking it out in arena setting. I admit, for the longest time I avoided the franchise, mostly because, well, where were the Shinto gods? I mean, heck, you got 8 million to choose from. Now, I made a promise to you guys that if Hi-Rez ever released the Shinto pantheon as playable, that I would not only play the game, but talk about it in videos. Well, that day has finally come. With the advent of Amaterasu and Raijin, it's time I make good on my promise. And while Amaterasu is amazing and I have a lot to say about her, I wanted to start my analysis with Raijin. Why? Because I feel like I associate with him most of all out of the other kami. He plays taiko drums, which I did, loved, and lament not being able to do anymore over a year during my stay in Japan. He controls lightning, which is my favorite natural element. He's red, my favorite color, and his design is just insanely boss. He's the kind of kami I can relate to. But before we really get started, 3 things, guys. 1, I am terrible at this game. The footage you are about to see is not MLG by any means, so go easy on me. 2, I contacted Hi-Rez about my plans on talking about the playable Shinto gods, and they responded to that by seriously hooking me up with everything I need in-game to do so. So just full disclosure, guys. 3, this video is going to take a critical look at Raijin's in-game design and compare it to his real-life counterpart. I want to state that I think regardless of my research, Raijin in-game looks awesome, sounds awesome, and I love playing as him. So don't think I'm hating on his design because I adore it. Okay, so let me ask a serious question here. Is SMITE's depiction of Raijin accurate? I mean, you could address that question to every god in the game. And in a way, Matt's kind of covered that in an old game theory. But I'm freaking Gaijin Goombah, dang it. Japanese culture is my specialty. So despite the obvious answer, I want to dig into Hi-Rez's depiction of the demonic god of thunder and see what they got right, what they got wrong, and what they may have missed. First of all, we have to ask a very important question. Who or what the heck is Raijin? According to the lore presented in-game, Raijin is a demon god of storms who creates thunder and lightning with hovering drums. Ever in competition with his brother Fujin, demon god of winds, the two exercise their power together in an attempt to playfully one-up each other, much to the horrors of mortal men who have to put up with the devastating storms. Sounds like someone needs to tell their parents to knock it off. And yeah, that's one really cool thing that SMITE understandably omits. Raijin is the son of the first recorded kami by name, Izanagi and Izanami, the 2 gods responsible for the creation of Japan and the entire world according to Shinto. Not only that, but Raijin was one of the first gods ever born from the original 8 islands created, making him theoretically more powerful than his sister Amaterasu, who was born much later through Izanami alone. And even though Raijin is a demon-faced god, much like the game describes, he's actually renowned and praised as being a good kami. Does his violent competition with Fujin mess up the homes, fields, and lives of mortal men? Yeah, but it truly is thought that Raijin's lightning brings about more fertilized and bountiful rice. In fact, if a place is hit by lightning in Japan, oftentimes it'll be marked with bamboo and shimenawa. You know, that rice rope and paper that they use for holy sites, thus making the area pure and protecting it from evil spirits. Another sort of strange property of Raijin comes from his companion Raiju. One of Raijin's abilities is having Raiju curl up inside of his opponent's navels, only to be violently awoken by Raijin stirring his companion with arrows of lightning. I'm sure most SMITE players are going, "The heck are you?" But no, it's completely legit. In fact, people in Japan who believed in superstitions would sleep on their stomachs to prevent being caught with Raijin's crossfire. And speaking of navels, that whole superstition of Raijin eating children's navels, again, totally true. Mothers would tell their kids to keep their stomachs hidden and to go inside during thunderstorms. Did Raijin actually do that, or were parents making up stories? Historically, no one really knows. But yeah, totally random naval trait, 100% legit. But let's get back to Raijin himself. In-game, he uses 4 barrel-shaped taiko drums with massive sticks that resemble timpani sticks. And each drum looks like it has some kind of throwing star design on it, with varying degrees of curves and dips. This is where I think SMITE's taken a few liberties for the sake of game design. While Raijin is a big red demon-faced drummer as depicted in his most famous representations at Asakusa Shrine and Taiyuin Shrine, the instrument he uses is actually very different from what's depicted in-game. See, in taiko there are many different kinds of drums that serve different purposes. They're not interchangeable in the least. In-game, Raijin is using what are called Chu Daiko, also called Nagado or Miya Daiko. These are medium-range drums that serve as the primary sound in a taiko performance. Traditional Raijin uses Shime Daiko, likely the most important drum in a taiko performance. Their struck sound is very sharp and piercing, which is utilized to keep time for the much larger Chu and O Daiko drums. I mean, you could argue that it would make more sense for Raijin to be using heavier drums to represent the sounds of thunder, but for the sake of historical nitpicking, this is a pretty big difference, as are the sticks used to beat said drums. Where SMITE's Raijin uses padded tip sticks, much like timpani sticks, taiko drummers will use what are called bachi, which are much fatter, have no padding in the tips, and will create a much broader sound. In fact, in most depictions of Gaijin in art and statues, he doesn't even use traditional bachi, but instead uses what look like tiny double-headed batons made of bronze or gold. My last horrible nitpick I'll make comes from the throwing star design on the drum. It's actually meant to be seen inverted as 3 equal-sized kamas, which form the tomoe or mitsudomoe, and it represents the equally important threefold division of man, earth, and sky, and it's one of the oldest and most traditional forms of Shintoism besides the torii gates. Whereas in the game, the kamas are of some varying size and shape. I know, it's a small little detail and I'm sure no one really cares about it, but I wouldn't be doing my job as a cultural analyzer if I omitted it. But despite the minute liberties Hi-Rez took on the character, they did a great job. In fact, I would argue they've done a great job representing all the gods and goddesses they've borrowed from history. And if you want to see me dive even further into the 30-some-odd playable gods of this game, let me know in the comments below. I'm already working on an analysis video for Amaterasu, so let me know if you'd like to see this become a bigger part of Game Exchange. I've also got a big announcement for you all. Aki has begun a brand new gameplay show on her channel, and I promise you, it's the most adorable thing you will ever see.
Robot, I'm gonna sneak up on it. I'm gonna get it. Get it. Oh, okay, never mind, I missed to that. Come on. Go. Yay! I destroyed it. It's all in pieces. Ball. God will destroy you, eat you. I will rip your head off, and I will turn you into soup. Come on. I destroyed you. Hey, power up. Cat, oh my god, I'm tripping the out. Oh my god, all the catnip.
If you've seen her on the Gaijin Gamers play, imagine that just multiplied tenfold. So go check out her videos and give her a sub. Your support of her channel will actually help us both be able to make more content. Anyway, last video I asked you if Armika's butt slap was wrongfully withheld from the American audiences in Street Fighter V. Out of 4,224 of you, 3,845 of you were ready to bring that slap stateside. Man, I wonder if Japan's paying attention to the raw numbers. Anyway, thanks for watching everyone, and until next time, this is Gaijin Goombah signing out.